This just proves that IFBB pros are the biggest idiots on the planet.
Alright, what is up YouTube? So Rios made this video.
Bodybuilders are mentally ill. It's the only explanation for a bodybuilder style of training. They sit on their asses because they're lazy. They avoid all the tough exercises, all to build an unaesthetic physique. Not only that, but imagine doing fitness that hurts your health. It's like working on sprinting if you want to be a swimmer. It just doesn't make any sense. Building muscle that hurts your looks, health, and performance just means there's something wrong with you.
And Greg Doucette and Johnny Shreve reacted to it. Then Rios reacted to those two videos made by Greg Doucette and Johnny Shreve, explaining why he is right and they're wrong, including every other bodybuilder on the planet. Basically, why the way they train and most of their philosophies are wrong. There are certain things that were said in those videos that I want to give my opinion on. So I'm just going to show the clips of Mario's reaction videos, and I'll only be showing the parts that I want to comment on. So if you want to watch the full videos and get a full picture of what was being talked about, I'm going to put the links in the description below. Let's get into the video.
Here's my philosophy on lifting weights and building muscle. My style of training is called athletic bodybuilding, where you use strength and conditioning principles to build a more attractive life through fitness. This incorporates using athletic movements instead of bodybuilding movements. For example, an athletic movement is a squat, while a bodybuilding movement is like a hack squat. An athletic movement is a standing bicep curl, while a bodybuilding movement is a seated bicep curl.
Okay, straight off the bat, I do want to say that I agree with Mario's style of training, you know, athletic bodybuilding, where you use functional movements like squats, deadlifts, movements where you are mostly using your whole body, where there's balance and coordination involved, to build an aesthetic physique, basically to build muscle using functional movements. And I do agree that this is very beneficial in day-to-day life when it comes to doing normal day-to-day activities, because it makes you better at performing those activities. I myself prefer to look like an athlete rather than looking like a competitive bodybuilder. I prefer to be a lot more functional and athletic than to be bulky. And then again, there are athletes out there who have bodybuilding type bodies but are still very athletic and functional. So that shows that athleticism can still be attained even if you have a very muscular body. Up to a certain point, of course. I mean, there's no way Ronnie Coleman in his prime could be that athletic. He'd have to downsize.
Today, guys, we're gonna coach up Rios. Got a video here. We're gonna see if Rios has a clue what he's talking about.
People in the comments didn't even realize the nonsense he was saying, but were just supporting him because they're also part of the Butthurt Bodybuilder Club. They were saying this is what I wanted because he reacted to my video, even though I get way more views than this guy. So I'll make him relevant by proving he's wrong. So let's see what this dumb bodybuilder has to say about one of my videos.
Okay, Mario is acting like he knows everything. He is only 24. Even if he has a sports degree, experience goes a long way in terms of fitness. Johnny and Greg have so many more years of experience in the industry as compared to Mario. Greg Doucette is even more learned and qualified academically speaking, but all Mario had to say about Greg's qualifications was,
"Great resume you have there, but my resume is better. I'm Leon Edwards' best friend." The CEO of the Fitness Matrix called me out. Salty, sensitive, steroid head bodybuilder, Greg Douchehead. I mean Doucette. My bad, my French isn't any good. All right, you manlet hobbit, calm down. It's like, dude, it's a funny intro to a video. It's just a play on words.
Like, here's the thing, man. I get it. For the shock value, we gotta insult the shit out of somebody without like any really good, real reason or some merit.
Insult the shit out of somebody. C-bum is a gym bum. In my opinion, I just think that's hilarious.
okay, the way he delivers his content isn't very ethical. He insults people for no reason, says it's a joke, but then none of the people that he's insulting are his friends, and none of them clearly are finding it funny. I agree with Johnny that Mario can make his content and please the algorithm without having to insult people and make such jokes according to him. There are other ways to grow on YouTube. I just don't think the approach he is taking is the best.
You got some guy who's like 45 who's getting bullied by some guy who's 25 years old.
I don't think bullying someone in his late 40s or bullying anyone for that matter is something to be proud of.
Before you make fun of multiple winning classic physique Olympian, one of the most popular people on the planet right now, and say this workout sucks, Have some knowledge to back it up.
Leon Edwards is more popular than him, so you're just speaking out of your ass here.
I checked every social media platform I'm familiar with, and Sebum is more popular than Leon Edwards. This shows that Mario will say anything to support his views, even if he has no factual backing behind it. And he doesn't like to say when he's wrong.
Based on what I'm seeing, the guy knows nothing about nothing. He's useless, he has no valuable information whatsoever. He just likes to make controversial videos where he spews nonsense, and so I personally think the guy just went to TikTok University.
Okay, Greg saying Mario knows nothing, I think that's a bit of a stretch. From the few videos of Mario I've seen, he seems like a person who knows a good amount of stuff about health and fitness, and he seems like he can actually help people. The only problem is how he delivers that information. Yeah, it's a YouTube short, and obviously you can't say everything, but try to deliver your information in a way that doesn't make it seem like you're just trying to call out bodybuilders for no reason. We all know Noel Daiso from his YouTube shorts, and he delivers his information in a respectful and great manner, yet the algorithm still supports him. But he doesn't insult people, you see, so that's not the only way to do it. That's proof.
Let's say you do 10 hard sets, 10 of them, all right? 10 hard sets. And guess what? There's also 10 warm-up sets. It's really not that much.
10 warm-up sets is actually a lot in my opinion.
Okay, I gotta agree with Mario here. I think 10 warm-up sets are a bit much for one muscle group. I typically do some dynamic stretches and then I do 2 or 3 warm-up sets before I get into my actual working sets. Then when I go on to a different exercise for the same muscle, I don't really warm up because my body is already warm from the last exercise and the last warm-up. Maybe the fact that Chris Bumstead is really strong and lifts a lot of weight for his working sets does mean that he needs that many warm-up sets, coupled with the fact that he's not natural, so probably that makes sense why he uses so many warm-up sets. But for someone who's natural, I think 10 sets is a bit much.
But he's one of those classic bodybuilders who takes a 30-second video of mine and doesn't go into my long-form video where I just like go down, not trying to go viral and just speak facts, to try and say I know nothing. I'd love to see a bodybuilder dissect some of my long-form content because they just can't.
Dr. Mike Israel, who is a bodybuilder and does jiu-jitsu, which proves that a bodybuilder can be functional and athletic, and holds a PhD in sports physiology, which means he could probably be part of the creators of Mario's whole degree program, would probably have no trouble dissecting one of Mario's videos.
Anyone familiar with my content knows that I call bodybuilders lazy because they sit on their asses all the time because they like to do movements that remove the stability, coordination, and balance demands from an exercise. Example being the hack squat with a belt rather than a barbell squat that actually really pushes you, that actually builds functional muscle which will help you with your performance.
Okay, Mario's making it seem like doing exercises like hack squats and seated bicep curls is bad because they're non-functional and they're lazy. But that's just the tip of the iceberg, and I feel like he had a chance to explain that in his longer videos, but he did not for some reason. It only counts as lazy when you only do those exercises without doing any other more athletic movement. In most cases, you've got 4 to 6 exercises for a muscle group in 1 week. So let's say you train quads twice a week. Day 1, you do exercises like the hack squat, Smith machine split squats, and leg extensions. Then on day 2, you do barbell back squats, lunges, and goblet squats. That's mixing the functional exercises and the non-functional exercises that Mario has a problem with. I'd say that's a better approach as compared to only doing functional exercises, because if you only do exercises like the deadlift, lunges, barbell back squats, front squats, all these exercises take a lot from your lower back and spinal erector muscles, and the stimulus to fatigue ratio isn't going to be so good, and in a matter of weeks you're going to be feeling so fatigued that you won't even be able to do your exercises as hard as you used to, because your body will be too tired. Now, incorporating hack squats actually gives your back some time to rest, which is actually more beneficial than detrimental. So Mario's problem with these exercises seems to not be thought through thoroughly, in my opinion. And also, I don't think there is such a thing as building functional muscle. I believe you can train your muscles to be functional by doing functional exercises, even if the muscles you have were built by the non-functional exercises. Even if you build your legs with hack squats, that still makes your muscles more functional than someone who doesn't exercise at all. So for normal day-to-day activities, you're still going to be performing better than the average human being.
The chest really only does a few things. Like, it does shoulder adduction. It also does shoulder extension and shoulder flexion. It does this and it does this.
Oh my God. This just proves that IFBB pros are the biggest idiots on the planet.
Mario is really stereotyping every single bodybuilder on earth as the dumbest group of people ever, based off what one bodybuilder said, of which he isn't even wrong. The chest actually does assist in shoulder extension. It's there in multiple anatomy textbooks, and it even makes sense if you really look at it. The lower fibers of the chest originate from somewhere here, right? And then they run up the chest like this, and then they insert into the humerus. And since muscles pull the insertion closer to the origin, closer to the chest here, it does mean that the arm is going to be pulled down, it's going to be extended down as the muscles contract. I don't know how Mario didn't know this though, yet he's the one with the exercise science degree, basically calling someone dumb for being right.
If you ever see a bodybuilder or a bodybuilding fan saying Rios promotes misinformation, that's because I hurt their feelings, and this is a clear example. They have nothing to say.
Well, you kinda did say the chest doesn't extend the shoulder when it does, so...
And so I guess when he looks at Chris Bumstead, he sees a guy that's totally unaesthetic. I mean, how is that appealing to anyone? Most people much prefer to have a dad bod, of which Chris also has in the off-season, right?
This is when you know that Greg Doucette lives under a rock. This is the aesthetic physique, the narrow waist, the moderate amount of muscle with great athletic performance and top tier proportions. Go over any research study, public interview, or survey where women go over their preferred body type for a guy. They will always say the bodybuilder is too much. Chris Bumstead isn't aesthetic.
One thing I can definitely say is what is and what's not aesthetic is very subjective. Some Ethiopian and Amazonian tribes find this to be aesthetic, but some of us wouldn't agree. Chris Bumstead is aesthetic to certain people, including me, even though I wouldn't want to look like him because I wouldn't want to be that big. Leon Edwards looks aesthetic to certain people as well, including me, and I personally wouldn't mind looking like him because his physique fits the spectrum of what I'd be okay with, even though my physique is perfect to me and I really wouldn't want to look like anyone else. So it's pointless to shove your opinion down other people's throats in regards to who's more aesthetic than who.
There's a difference between universal aesthetics and bodybuilding aesthetics. People like Alex Eubank, Seba, and David Lade, they're bodybuilding aesthetic, but in real life, they're not aesthetic.
Okay, in what world can Alex Eubank be put in the same category in regards to muscle mass as Chris Bumstead? I'd actually say he's closer to Leon Edwards than to Seba. So Alex is closer to universal aesthetics as compared to bodybuilding aesthetics.
When you look like a bodybuilder, it makes your life worse. When you want to look like Leon Edwards, your life gets a lot better.
Okay, using his logic, Alex Eubank is a bodybuilder, right? So when you look like Alex Eubank, your life gets worse, but when you look like Leon Edwards, your life gets better. These two people really aren't that different when it comes to muscle mass. I don't see how this makes sense.
Go look at a fat person who weighs 250 and someone who builds muscle like a bodybuilder, so non-functional muscle, who also weighs 250. They're gonna walk the same, their BMI will be the same, it's gonna hurt their knees because your knees can't handle that. You think that's healthy?
Okay, so he's talking about a bodybuilder who weighs 250 pounds and puts Alex Eubank, who probably weighs under 200 pounds, in the same category. But that's besides the point here. This is a case of building excessive size, which I have to agree I do not think is healthy either. Because more often than not, you have to use PEDs to get to that size, and it's not really a good weight to be at.
Am I saying that you don't know anything? Am I attacking your credibility? Not at all. I'm just saying that your weight loss advice is all wrong. However, when you go into my core argument versus your core argument, it all is an opinion. My opinion is different from your opinion, but my opinion has worked for me, your opinion has worked for you. When we give tips to our audience, I'm gonna tell them something that worked for me while you tell them something that worked for you. We're both fine here.
If Mario's methods are an opinion, I don't see why he has to outright say other people's opinions are wrong or insult them. Just state your opinion without bringing down others, unless the other person's opinion can actually hurt people.
For example, when I just got back into kickboxing, I was doing a lot of cardio and I actually gained weight. I probably burned maybe like 300 calories during that session, but I got hungry. So what I did was eat like 1,300 calories from Chipotle after my kickboxing session. So through my experience, the mid-intensity cardio made me gain weight.
Okay, mid-intensity cardio didn't make you gain weight. Eating too many calories is what made you gain weight. He could have prepared a lower calorie, high satiety meal and eaten that after his workout. He wouldn't have gained all that weight. It's simple.
Greg, we all know you get all your information from Safari. You're Mr. Safari University. I get my information from textbooks. These are the two that I normally use. This is the gold standard one for strength and conditioning, and this is the one they use in all the med schools. They call it Netters. This is where most of my knowledge comes from. Yours comes from Safari.
Greg Doucette literally has a master's degree in kinesiology.
And again, I went to school. I went to university. All your bodybuilding friends didn't get close to a university.
All these bodybuilders went to university though, so I don't understand where you got the information that bodybuilders never got close to a university. But anyway, to sum it up, I think Mario gives good information. You could really achieve your fitness goals by doing what he says, you know, the athletic bodybuilding, stuff like that. He's very knowledgeable. He has a exercise science degree. I just think he needs to chill in terms of how he delivers his information and how he keeps on insulting people. I mean, dude, you could take it down a notch in terms of pride. You don't know everything and you'll never know everything. Greg Doucette doesn't know everything. I certainly do not know everything. So just stop acting like, you know, you're the god of fitness. Anyway, that is it for the video. Please subscribe to the channel. There's a lot more fitness tips, fitness info that would really help you. Like and share the video and turn on post notifications. With that, I'll see you in the next video.